Yo, what's up, you 9,000 beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. As always, my name is Anton, and hopefully all of you guys are having a fantastic day because we're going to be, checking out something brand new on the channel. So this is James Blunt, and this is actually a Patreon request from Melissa, so shout out to you. And I know you've been pushing for this one for now, I think, like 2 weeks. At first it was in the public raffle, and then you're like, okay, no, I'm going to make this happen. So this is Monsters, and I've never heard anything by James Blunt. I've heard of the name before, definitely. Like, I think, like, I've heard of the names like James Blunt, James Bay, and I think there might be another James that, like, I've heard of the name of, but haven't really heard any other stuff. But yeah, so I'm open. We'll see what happens. And yeah, before we get into it, as always, if you guys have any song requests for me and you want to vote on what artists come on the channel every single week, join everybody in the Discord, link down below. And if you want guaranteed song requests like Melissa and you want to check out all of our full album reactions, link to the Patreon, also link down below. And that's it. So let's get James Blunt, Monsters. Well, this is gonna be emotional, just the way he's looking in the camera.
Oh, before they turn off all the lights.
Well, his voice, in my opinion, doesn't match his face. He has a very interesting voice. He looks like a very normal dude, and then his voice is very unique. So this is kind of interesting. But let's get back into it.
Oh, before they turn off all the lights, I won't read you your wrongs or your rights. The time has gone.
Very emotional
I'll
voice.
tell you good night, close the door. Tell you I love you once more. The time has gone, so here it is. I'm not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye.
I got fucking chills right now.
No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. And while you're sleeping, I'll try to make you proud. So daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid, it's my turn to chase the monsters away.
Wow. I'm close to tears right now. not quite, but close.
I'll read a story to you.
Ooh.
Only.
Okay, I didn't want to break up that flow because I was like, he's hitting me right in the feels right now. But the music right now, like we're coming into the second verse, and you feel the music increasing, and yeah, I feel like this song is gonna go somewhere, and I'm gonna go back like 30 seconds, or 20 seconds for you guys, just so we can like get right back into that build-up. But so far, James Blunt, if that's him, he's incredible at displaying emotion through his face and just feeling what he's saying, and his voice is extremely pure. Like, I just got like this like purity from his voice, like just this very pure emotional kind of resonance. I get like a very good vibe from him. Like, he's probably been hurt very deeply, but he feels very deeply, and he's probably made mistakes too, but he's someone who's going to grow from them. Like, I can just, I get the feeling like he's a very, like, kind of, maybe not calming, but like I feel like if I had a podcast with him, I feel like we would go deep. Like he would be very willing to go with the flow, and I feel like he wants to talk about something real. I feel like he doesn't like bullshit very much. I don't know, this is just the impressions I get. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just like getting like the feeling that he's just a very good-natured, open-hearted human being. And yeah, it's also the lyrics kind of hit close to home because of obviously the stories I've had with my father. But let's get back into this. You might make me cry on this one, Melissa. I don't know. We will see.
Won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away. Oh, well, I'll read a story to you. Only difference is this one is true. The time has gone. I folded your clothes on the chair. I hope you sleep well, don't be scared. Time has gone, so here it is. I'm not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye.
Wow.
No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine.
Oh, yeah, it got me now.
And while you're sleeping, I'll try to make you proud. So, Daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my time to chase the monsters away. Sleep a lifetime, yes, and breathe the last word. You can feel my hand on your arm.
Oh, shit, man.
I will be the last one, so I'll leave a light on. Let there be no darkness in your heart. But I'm not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. And while you're sleeping, I'll try to make you proud. So, Daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away.
Oh, man. I really love, like, the pat on the shoulder that his dad gave him at the end. And, oh, man. That was a masterpiece of a song. Whew. Wow. That literally is a masterpiece. Because, like, James Blunt comes across as such an incredible human being to the point where, in listening to this song, I'm moved and put in a headspace where I want to forgive, like, all of the, you know, the terrible things that have happened to me in my life and that I've done to other people. And it's like, not everyone can do that. A lot of the time when you get these really, like, emotional songs, a lot of the time I find them just forced and really, like, hokey. Like, just, I'm like, okay, like, the artist is trying to say something. And I don't get that impression from this song. I feel like I don't feel like he's like, oh, how do I write a song that is going to move people? I feel like this came from, like, this is my truth. Like, this is, I want to write down my feelings on paper before my father dies. Because, I don't know, maybe the father was an actor in this video and his father already died. Or he's like, my father's probably going to be gone pretty soon. And I want to be able to say what I would say when he was gone, but be able to say it to his face now in the form of a letter or in the form of a song. Because I feel like there's something almost more, like, authentic to that. Like if my father was on, like, you know, his deathbed or something, I feel like I could tell him all of these things to his face on his deathbed, but I feel like it's different. I feel like when you're writing it as if it's happened, it's like more potent in some way. And because you don't have to see someone's eyes or look them in the face, you can be fully channeled into your emotions. You can be fully lost in your feelings and your love and your compassion. And I feel like it's just a special thing when you write a letter to someone as if they won't read it, or that they will, but that, yeah, you do it after. I think it's powerful. But geez, man, James Blunt's voice is amazing. It's so unique too. I've never heard anyone with a voice like that. I think it's just, he just seems like a beautiful human being. Like one of those human beings that, like, if you just have one of them on the planet, like, it literally makes a difference. Like, just that one person's love and that one person's compassion for humanity, like, echoes through. And then when you put that one person and you give them a global audience, when you make them an artist, they become like a conduit for love in the world. I feel like, if he was one person and he lived in a village in Italy and he didn't have a podcast, he didn't have any way of getting his vibration out to the world, I feel like, yeah, he would cause ripples in his community that would cause ripples into the greater world. But when we live in this century where one person can change the world, one person can influence millions. Like this song, I think hit 20 million people, right? It's like he's hitting millions of people with this vibration, this frequency, this way of looking at the world, this way of looking at forgiveness. Like, we all, we're all human, we're all flawed. And part of, I think, being a parent is, you're just, a lot of time, a child when you have a child. You know what I mean? You're just a teenager, or you're just in your early 20s, which is still so young. And you're just doing the best you can, but you haven't mastered your emotions. You haven't figured out what a good relationship looks like. You're still traumatized. You're still hurting. And then, your son or your daughter starts yelling or screaming. You lose your shit. You don't know what to do. You hit the kid, or you scold them, or you get so caught up in fear of thinking they need to not be a failure in life like you were, that you push them too hard in school and you traumatize them around school. Like, that's what happened to me. Like, I was expelled twice when I was growing up, and I was suspended like 20 times. I was like a real problem child. And so, of course, they came, one of my parents came down on me, like, with a wrath of vengeance. And, it was because I just didn't really fit into any of the usual kind of structures in society, I think, in many ways. And so it was like, yeah, it was pretty brutal. You know what I mean? And then his father was extraordinarily abusive. I've said this story before, but my father's mother was afraid to leave my grandfather because she was afraid he'd find her and kill her. And he was just physically abusive, verbally, emotionally abusive to my father. And so my father was better than his father, but still carried that frequency of just like seeing red and just lashing out. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And so, I've come a long way of like forgiving my father. Like, I hated him. I didn't want him at my wedding. I was, at one point I told him, I was like, I never want to see you again. This was when I was a bit younger. I'm like, I never want you a part of my life. You will not meet my children. You'll not be able to be a grandfather to my kids because of a lot of the pain and the trauma that you caused me. I will not allow you to do that to my children. And I know a grandfather usually isn't the same with a grandchild that he is with a child, but still, it's like, some of the shit that happens, you're just like, because again, some of these people, they see red, they can't control their emotions. So if you put your son in front of, like, someone who kind of, in some ways was hurtful to you, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if the grandchild does something wrong and that parent has an ideology of how to punish someone for doing the wrong thing, right? But, we figured it out. And, I do love my father. And he's in beneath all the pain and the hurt and trauma. He's a good man. He's a very good person. It's just, this is what I always tell my mom. I'm like, dad is an amazing human being who's himself 5% of the time. And the other 95% of the time, he's all his traumas, he's his wounds, he's his insecurities, he's his pain, and he will lash out and take that out on anybody so he doesn't have to feel it in himself. No matter what he feels internally, he will externalize it. Also narcissism. So he will take that out on the external world. And, like a lot of people, they give narcissism this terrible name, like, oh, he's a narcissist, he's a bad person. I don't think narcissism makes you a bad person. I think it's just a coping mechanism. It's a coping mechanism for having a father who told you were a piece of shit your entire life and that you'd amount to nothing. And so you literally need to inflate your sense of identity to just get back to zero because your father destroyed your integrity so much in your sense of self when you were younger. And I'm talking from my grandfather to my father, that you need narcissism just to stay afloat. You need to, even in an inflated sense, believe in yourself higher. And hopefully the best case scenario is you actually do develop a sense of true confidence, a true sense of self-respect, that you don't need to be a narcissist. You don't need to be arrogant anymore. But, some people, yeah, he's like 64 years old, I think, right now, and he still hasn't figured that out to the core of him yet. He doesn't know it, because the problem with narcissism is you become blinded from your own insecurities and your own traumas, because you find a way to blame everything else on everything, that you never actually take a look at yourself and go, I'm the conduit for all this chaos in my life. Everything is around me. And again, like I said, he's a great person. That's himself 5% of the time. And luckily in this last kind of year, we've been really working on our relationship, and he's gotten a lot better. I think for me, it was letting go a bit of my hatred. I think once I forgave him more, it gave him more of an opportunity to look at himself. Because, yeah, if there's so much hate and anger being thrown at him, he never felt safe enough to be able to look inward. Because again, the defense mechanism is, you're the problem. I'm not the problem, you are. And it's only after kind of forgiving him and forcing myself to see his positives and see that he did do some good things in my life, for sure. There was some fun times we had getting ice cream after I got like A+ on a test or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's only after kind of allowing forgiveness that it softens him up enough to kind of look at himself and go, oh shit, you're right. Maybe I did screw up a few things, or maybe there are some things I'm not aware of about myself. Like, this tendency, like almost got bipolar tendency, or like, this or that, right? Narcissism, that kind of thing. So it's interesting. But yeah, this was such a powerful song. Even the fact that it kind of got me on this train of thought, it brought me to this very kind of compassionate headspace, emotional space. Like that's yeah, that's powerful. I love that. Oh, before they turn off all the lights, I won't read you your wrongs or your rights. That's so powerful. That's true forgiveness, and that's true love. Is I don't love you for what you do right, and I don't lack of love for you for what you do wrong. You're just another human being who's passing on, and we don't have to keep a tally of all the rights and the wrongs. Like that's just such a beautiful line. What's it about? At the time, James Blunt wrote the song for his father, who had stage 4 chronic kidney disease and was awaiting an O+ donor. The song was written and recorded without previous notice, and when it was completed, James played it for him in a room with just the two of them and having a positive response saying, "That's the way it is." Wow. James has gone on to say that the moment he and his father shared when listening to the song will stay with him forever, as they never had a moment like that due to both having strict army backgrounds where the men have to be tough. Wow. Holy shit. Man, that's such a problem in our society is that we have to be like I feel that I feel a pressure to be tough. Like a lot of you guys are laughing because you're like, you know, we know you on the channel and you're very open and vulnerable. It's like this is the only place in my life that I'm open and vulnerable. And obviously over the last year and a half I've been able to be like this more and more. But before this channel, I was never like this. You know, this was my opportunity to kind of, you know, let more of who I am shine through. And I think it's so tough because like my father's like this. He has this like whole like can't show emotion kind of thing, and that's why it's so tough to talk about the reality of situations with people like this, because the only way sometimes to actually resolve some things is to get real and get honest and reflect. Because like if you can't talk about your emotions, you can't ever take ownership over what you've done emotionally. You can take ownership like, oh yeah, I take responsibility, but that's a cop out because you can feel it. They're not actually taking responsibility. Because to take full responsibility, you have to feel what you've done. Feel the responsibility. Oh shit, I fucked you up. Like that, take that responsibility, feel that. Because if you just go, oh yeah, I fucked you up, like you're just putting the blame not onto you or to someone else, but you're just like giving the blame to whatever. You're just letting go of the blame, right? And at the same time, I don't think it's important. I don't think it's healthy to carry too much blame, but just momentarily feel the blame, like not feel the blame, feel the hurt you've caused. And that's what gives you the catalyst to grow. Because it's only by understanding how you actually have the ability to hurt people that you go, I don't want to do that anymore. You know, that was for me when I realized how I hurt people. I was like, and I felt that for the first time through someone else's eyes. I was like, wow. Yeah, I have the ability to really hurt people. And I don't want to do that to people. And, you know, that's the only thing that changes it. But what have the artist said about the song? Monsters isn't a eulogy to my father, except he's still alive and kicking. But he's not been well. His kidneys are functioning at just 11%. And with that realization, I needed to tell him that to me, he's more than just a father. He's my friend too, and that I love him. Wow. Incredible. What is the father's outcome? As of June 29th, his father's looking well following his kidney transplant in January. The singer appeared on Monday's episode of Good Morning Britain, where he told how he hasn't seen his dad since January due to the coronavirus. Wow. Wow. Well, that's an incredible song, Melissa. That's beautiful. And now to everybody, what other James Blunt songs should we check out? Leave a comment down below on YouTube, and I'll choose some of those in the future. If no one on the Patreon wants any more James Blunt, I'll be going to you guys. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video and you want to help out with the YouTube algorithm, definitely leave a like, leave a comment, and yeah, subscribe if you're digging all the content. You guys know what we do around here, mostly 70s to 2000s pop and soft rock. And some alternative too, but that's the big thing. And yeah, so thanks to everyone who supports the channel. Also, I want to give a big shout out to my tier 3 patrons. So of course we got Scott, we got Ayla, Charles, David, Francis, Jason, Kelly, Laura, Mans, Matt, Melanie, Melissa, Merrick, Nora, Paul, and Stuart. So shout out to all of you guys. I love you, and I'll see everybody again tomorrow. I love you all. Peace.